This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're taking a look at the JOBY GripTight 1 micro stand, which I've been testing for the past 3 weeks. Let's dive in. So starting with the materials on this little stand, on the product page it has listed plastic, nylon, silicone, stainless steel, steel, TPE, zinc aluminum, and aluminum. That's a whole lot, and I'll just go through and say what things I know are certain materials. The stand here is made from aluminum, and then on the tips here we have little silicone feet, which are great for gripping and making sure that whatever you have on top of it does not go anywhere. And then the phone holder here is made of plastic, and it's got some springs in there to allow it to move. And the little pieces here are made of metal, but the rest of this is plastic. And on the grippers is, I think, silicone again, which grips onto your phone nicely to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere or it doesn't slide out of place. So obviously, as you can see here, it comes in 2 parts, and each of these parts have a use, and then when you put them together, it has another use. So we will start with just the little phone grabber here, which if you have a tripod with you, you can just attach it to a tripod here, a standard 1/4-inch thread, and then you have a little phone tripod that you just slide your phone in like that, and then you're ready to go to take a group photo, or if you have a phone with night mode, you can go ahead and use that. As far as what phones fit, we did not test a phone that didn't fit, and we tested all the way up to the new 13 Pro Max. And this is very, very tight. If you have a big case on your phone though, like maybe a wallet case or something like that, that's a little bit wider. As you can see here, the lip isn't that thick, so if you have a bunch of cards and stuff behind your phone, it might have trouble grabbing on. But for the most part, we did not experience that issue at all. So moving on to the little stand here. As you can see, it doesn't have a very high profile, so it only gets you a couple centimeters off the ground. But we found that's actually more than you need sometimes, because a lot of times you could just set your phone on a ledge and there'd be something in the way, or you would get whatever ledge in the photo. And just that little bit of space gives you enough space to get a photo without the ledge in it. So a small point and shoot camera can just attach right on there. Be a little tough to get on there sometimes, but once you get it, it works well. And then it stands up like that, and you have a little mini tripod to take a selfie or group shot or something like that. It should be noted that if you go to the side like that, where it's not parallel with a foot, it can sag depending on the height and weight of your item. This is especially true with more top-heavy items like this Instax mini camera. So you'll see when you put this on, very, very much so, if you don't have it parallel, it falls. But if you make it parallel with one of the feet, it doesn't have as much issue with falling. In the wind, both of these pieces have issues with the wind blowing them over, because they are so light and they are so small, especially with a phone, because all that surface area here, when you have it in there, the wind really catches that and can knock this little thing over pretty easily. But if you're careful with where you place the feet of this and which way the wind is blowing, you can kind of get around that. So when you put all of the pieces together, you get to the last use here, which is a phone stand and also a phone tripod. So it folds up really small like this when it is not in use. One thing we did have an issue with was this little screw here. If you don't have a screwdriver, it can be kind of difficult to unscrew it. I have a habit of using the back of my pocket knife, and as you can see, it's been kind of getting eaten up there. So if you have like a little gear shard like the Gerber gear shard here, it is good to use that instead of something that's not a actual screwdriver, because you can really eat that up pretty easily. When it's tight, it actually does move pretty freely, and it is pretty tight, so it's not going to move unless you put something really heavy on there, or maybe it gets knocked over or something like that. but you open up the little tripod like you would before, and then you open up the phone case, and that moves around a lot, which you'll see in a second is nice for viewing videos and stuff like that. So you set the phone in there like that, and you have a little phone stand. So this is great for if you're on like an airplane and you want to watch a movie or something like that. It's also great if you're on the go and you want to have a Zoom meeting or something like that. You can kind of just set it up and have your computer here or to the side, and you can have a meeting that doesn't affect your main computer or whatever else it is that you're doing. We also like this used as a little tripod because a lot of phones now have night mode, which means you can leave the shutter open for longer than you normally would handheld. So once you set it up, you just go into your camera, take your night photo, and it stays still. Something we would recommend is using a timer because it's such a small tripod and the phone weighs more than it does. So when you let go, you can see there's a little shake there. So set the timer on the camera so that way you let go, it finishes shaking, and then it takes your photo, which is a very nice feature of this little stand. As we've covered, you can use it to hold a point and shoot, a little bit bigger of a camera. You can also use it to attach your phone to a little mini tripod, and then you can also just use it as a stand to watch movies, videos, have a Zoom call, or use it as a tripod in itself for your phone camera. The online site for this did say that you could use it for a Nintendo Switch or an iPad mini. We weren't able to test the iPad mini, but it does not extend big enough for the standard Switch, which is a little bit disappointing, but I think that it might have too much weight anyways and it would topple over pretty easily. But overall, we're very happy with how it performed, and we were a little surprised how well it grabbed onto phones of all sizes. As you can see, it folds up tiny. It'll fit in the little money pocket on your jeans when it's folded up. It's very, very small, but it handles phones of all sizes pretty well, and it also was able to handle something as big as an Instax mini camera, which has some weight and some height to it. So there you have it, the JOBY GripTight 1 micro stand. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.